Heritage, remind me I have the copy of the translation of the Quran, okay? When I finish, inshallah. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وأن يجعل التفرق بعده تفرقا معصوما وألا يدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today inshallah we are dealing with chapter alBaqarah, Surah alBaqarah, verse 248, which is directly about the story of Jaloot and Talut, Guliath and Talut, in the Quran, inshallah. But just to remind you, last week and the week before, we started with Qawlillahi Ta'ala very quickly, just to keep you on the track with what we are doing. The story in verse 246 started, and I did highlight some very quick, important thing about the stories of the Quran. This is very important, because when we say story, the connotation of the word story, no. When we speak about the Quran, the word story has a big significance. Quran is the final revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's the constitution of humanity. And when Allah decided to put these stories, it's not for entertainment. And it's not for amusement. It's for taking lessons. لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة. Indeed, in their stories, there were lessons. So in the Quran, whenever a story is mentioned, definitely there is a wisdom behind it. And the biggest wisdom also, whatever, because Quran covers a story of hundreds and thousands of incidents preceded to us. Now, keep in your mind the following. We were preceded with 124,000 prophets and 315 messengers. We know of them 25 just. Sometimes Allah is directly telling us about the story of Salih and his people, about the story of Qawm Ad, the people of Ad, the people of Thamud, the people of Noah. Noah himself, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, directly some kind of conversations. Musa alayhi salam with the children of Israel. Musa alayhi salam with Pharaoh. So we have. And sometimes we don't know the time, we don't know the person, we don't know the location, we don't know the people. But simply Allah decided to give us a lesson from a story, and we don't waste our time to know where, when, how, as long. We have many verses, such as, for example, we say, أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها قال أن يحيي هذه الله بعد موتها. Now, historically, this story, a man passed by a full destructed city. Historically, it is believed for some mufassirin that it is Jerusalem by the Romans. Regardless, if you want to take it as a Quran, Allah wanted to show a big message about His miracles. At a certain time, a man, is this a man? It is believed he was a prophet, and the prophet of the people of Israel. He is Uzair, he is Azra. The Quran did not mention. Quran said, أو كالذي, the person who. If Allah wants to tell us who is He, He could have told us who was He. He did not. So what's the message? Don't waste your time to think who was He. There's no benefit. أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها قال أن يحيي هذه الله بعد موتها فأماته الله 100 عام ثم بعث قال كم لبثت. Someone passed by a village, a city, a town. It was completely destroyed. He was wondering, wow, is it possible that this city will come to life again? Allah took his life for 100 years. Then He brought him back to life again. And you know, and on it goes on and on. We have stories from this type. Generally, we had an introduction about stories in the Quran. The main aim and the nature of the stories of the Quran. Whatever the Quran is focusing on, it means there is a significance, there is an importance. Whatever Allah decided to ignore, don't waste your time to know the details. Very simple, you know, by the way, because when you go to other religious sacred books, you will delve into details that you will be lost. And when you think about, wait for a minute, okay, what is the benefit of all these details? Nothing. This is what of the beauty of the Quran. You need to know them. Why I'm telling you that? Let's establish strategy, mentality if you want to seek more knowledge when you study the Quran for the future. Don't keep searching for the details that there are no need for them. Anyway, last time we started with ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين. I'm bringing you to the context very quickly. Have you not seen those chiefs of the children of Israel after Moses? Look, Allah told us that this happened after Moses. He wanted to let us be aware that the story happened in a specific after Moses passed away, because there's a significance for that. After Moses, they said to one of their prophets, so we know that they were accompanied with a prophet. But who is the prophet? We don't know. Quran did not mention. The Bible told us it's Samuel. But for us, we don't know. We use it as it's claimed in the Bible. But not necessarily we are sure 100% it is Samuel. Okay? Because the Quran said, قَالُوا لِنَبِيٍّ لَهُمْ. Allah knows. Anyway, they said to one of their prophets, appoint for us a king and we will fight in the cause of Allah. He said, are you not going to cower if ordered to fight? They replied, how could we refuse to fight in the cause of Allah while we were driven out of our homes and separated from our children? But when they were ordered to fight, they fled except for a few of them. And Allah has perfect knowledge of the wrongdoers. Historically, in the Bible, they were kicked out from greater historical Palestine by the Canaanites and the Amalekites. It's amazing. They were kicked out by the Amalekites in the greater historical Palestine. Subhanallah. Now, next ayah, we did highlight all of this, but this is just the context to delve into our today's verse. Then we recited وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أن يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه ولم يؤت سعة من المال قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. They were asking their prophet, please, they were begging, send us a king to lead and fight those who oppressed us. The need is there. The knowledge that Allah is the decision maker is there. And they are begging. Now the lesson is for us. When God commanded them and responded to them, look what they did. You as Muslims now, be careful. What was the reply? Their prophet told them, okay, Allah has responded to you. Their prophet told them, he received the revelation, Allah has appointed Saul, which is Talut. In the English biblical version, he is Saul, okay? Which is Shaul, Saul, or Talut. Allah has appointed Saul to be your king. خلاص يعني you asked, Allah replied, finished. Yalla, proceed. Next step. They protested. They what? protested. And we are talking about a group accompanied by a prophet, not by a sheikh and imam. They are not protesting a sheikh in the neighborhood. They are not saying, sheikh, no, we don't like you as our imam. Yes, you have the right not to like one imam, no problem. No problem that you dislike one of the shuyukh. It's your right, no problem. Who said that every sheikh or every imam should be liked for full? Who said? No problem. We are discussing a prophet directly connected with God, with full knowledge that he is the prophet. So it's something mind-blowing. They protested. How can he be our king when some of us are more deserving of kingship than he? Their criterion, their decision, okay, we are asking from Allah, but it's we who decide who should be. So why you are asking? By the way, this is exactly what some Muslims learn when they keep crying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, help me in such and such. Ya Allah, do and say, okay, Allah tells you stop this and this and this and do this and that according to the Quran. No, Sheikh. You are not a good Sheikh. What, why? Because I told him what he should be doing. He's doing haram. Like, for example, Sheikh, I don't have barakah in my life. And I have such and such. Do you deal with riba? Yes. Do you pray the Fajr with your family? No. Have you ever tried to bring the female side of the family, the wife, the daughters, into hijab and chastity? No. طيب, technically you are fighting Allah. So please stop fighting Allah so that Allah will give you barakah. You are not a good modern nice school sheikh. You are extremists. By the way, I'm not exaggerating. We have a lot of Arab Muslims who think in this way. And they keep searching for a modern sheikh. Do you know the cool sheikh? We call him Sheikh Nuskum. You know Sheikh Nuskum? It's a Jordanian metaphorical accent. Sheikh Nuskum, it's a metaphor, which means he gives you the fatwa according to your desire. Okay, whatever you wish, he will be tailoring the fatwa according to your desire. This is exactly what they were. أَنَّا يَكُونُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ عَلَيْنَا وَنَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْكِ. How come? No, Allah's decision has no value for us. Because for us, we deserve it. This is exactly what many of us are doing now. طيب, أَنَّا يَكُونُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ السَّعَةً مِّنَ الْمَالِ. What is the standard? Money. Rich. قال إن الله اصطفاه عليه. قال, protested, how can he be our king when some of us are more deserving of kingship? He replied, Allah has chosen him over you and blessed him with knowledge and stature. Yes, the physical power is needed. We are talking about a king, leader, and the fighter. But what is more important? The knowledge. Ilm. And it is given by Allah. وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Subhanallah. This is the standard of Allah. By the way, no one can force you to accept it. But you need to know, if you accept, you are a submissive, i.e. Muslim. If you refuse, you are a kafir, rejecter. Very simple equation. But I think, okay, think whatever. This is the law. You accept the law, you are a good citizen in Canada. You refuse the law, you are a bad person. No one cares what you think. They all care whether you apply and follow the law or not. Is this the reality or not? I'm talking a materialistic, liberal world. This is the reality. There's a law. Respect the law. No one asks you, what do you think about the law? No one asks you about what do you think about the law. They tell you, follow the law. Is this a reality or not? True or false? Subhanallah, we accept it. And we keep always whispering, be careful. According to the law, you are not allowed to swear. According to the law, according to the law. When it comes to Allah, we start arguing that we don't want the standard of the law. Wallahi, some of us Muslims, born Muslims, but they are very rude with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it comes to this, they submit to the civil law wherever they live, but they argue with Allah about His standard. This is applicable in many of us. Whatever, many laws, many civil laws around the world, all of them, shh, be careful, please obey the law. They don't argue, they don't speak, they don't reject, you don't highlight because they are afraid of the punishment. Am I exaggerating or not? Just simple example. I challenge every single person on earth with this example. Who dares publicly to challenge the tax law from the new immigrants? I repeat my question. Who dares to challenge? Say, no. This is a bad law. I don't want to obey the law. No. But they all do their best to what? Either to apply the law or to escape from the law. And all the time they are afraid because of the punishment, possible punishment. Am I exaggerating? This is a reality. Wallahi, if we deal with Allah as we deal with the CCTV cameras or the civil law of some powerful governments, we will be saved in the day of judgment. Because sometimes some Muslims, even this, they don't do it. But look to the mentality now. He replied, Allah has chosen him over you, and Allah has chosen and have blessed him with knowledge and stature. Allah grants kingship to whoever He wills, and Allah is all bountiful, all knowing. Now this, and we connected this with قول الله تعالى وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون, and we highlighted last time, when Allah and His Messenger decree a matter, a mu'min and a mu'min, a male and female, they have no choice other than say what? To submit and obey, and that's it. طيب. Today's ayah, now وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه. Look how patient Allah with His slaves. Look how merciful. They said, Ya Allah, help us. He replied, they said, no. We don't agree because he is not such and such. Yet, Allah is patient with him. Now the Prophet, which means Allah did not punish them. Allah gave them the choice even to argue and to reject. Are you with me? If this is just a normal human dictatorship regime, He would have just finished them, bombed them. But alhamdulillah, no one is bombing anyone now because no one kills anyone. Human beings, mashallah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Yes? Look how merciful Allah is. Wallahi. Wallah, sometimes you say, wow, look how rude they were and how amazing, merciful of Allah is. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. There's a lot of interesting knowledge in this ayah, historical knowledge. Many people, they don't know about the bounties and the nature of the relation between Allah and the children of Israel. Amazing. Their prophet further told them the sign of soul's kinship is that the ark will come to you containing reassurance from your Lord and releases of the family of Moses and the family of Aaron, which will be carried by the angels. Surely in this is a sign for you if you truly believe. To save your time, I will read to you immediately from the Tafsir of Ibn Kathir. What does this ayah refer to? Okay? And Ibn Kathir, when they said to a prophet of theirs, send us a king so that we may fight in the way of Allah, these people from Bani Israel had abandoned the injunctions given by Allah Almighty. When the infidel Amalekites were made to rule over them, they began thinking about correcting the situation. So we understand now from Tafsir Ibn Kathir, according to the other narrations, that this specific time, Allah gave the power for non-believers over the believers as an act of punishment. Does it happen? Are we living now in this status or not? Now, 100%, not 99, 100. It's not a possibility, 100%. Who's taking over the power against who now? Very clear. Now, the supposed true believer at that time, they were out. And Allah gave Guliath or Jaloot and his people, and they were infidels, non-believers, kuffar, against the faith, yet Allah enabled them to have the power against the children of Israel at that time. So Ibn Kathir says, when the infidel Amalekites were made to rule over them, look, they began thinking about correcting the situation to return back to Allah. La ilaha illallah. Started to return back to Allah. La ilaha illallah. Does this relate to anything in your mind? La ilaha illallah. Can you imagine? This happened about 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago. We are living exactly the same situation, but change the faces of the coin. Exactly. La ilaha illallah. قال, the name of the prophet mentioned here is Samuel. In Arabic and Hebrew, Shemuel or Shamuel. Now next verse, the story of Talut and Jaloot. I'm reading from Tafsir Ibn Kathir. The Bani Israel, look now, used to have the legacy of a wooden chest, also identified as the Ark of the Covenant. Talut al-Ahd, the Ark of the Covenant, like a wooden box. They used to have this always with them as a physical, tangible, physical object. They always use it as a barakah, as a blessings when they are approaching their enemies in their wars. But Moses and other prophets of Bani Israel would keep this chest in the front line of the battlefield. Its barakah, blessings, benediction used to give them victory. So subhanallah, Allah was dealing with them through physical object of barakah. Physical, you see it, you touch it, you have it in the front line to have what? The peace of mind and tranquility that you will be given the victory. قال Jaloot, which is Guliath, overcame Bani Israel. He took this chest away with him. The physical wooden box which contains some divine blessed things, and it was a sign of the possible victory to come, was taken by the non-believers. Look to the message now. Was taken by the non-believers against the people of Israel. Wow, by the way, it's a big lesson for us. Is it possible that Allah will enable such and such a طبعا, and they will be controlling طبعا? Yes, because in many cases we have what? Destroyed the covenant as a nation. By the way, let me give me just quickly a pause. Is there anyone in this room who's above 80? Anyone above 80? Above 70? 70? more than 70 years. 60? Huh? Yeah. Okay. You know why I'm asking? Because, you know, I'm 56. In my childhood, I remember the remainings. I witnessed the people who lived proudly in the time of communism, atheism in the Arabic world. I sat in my childhood 45 years ago with those who raised in the main realm of Marxism, communism, atheism, which is the pure kufr of denying the existence of Allah, i.e. previous USSR, United Soviet Social Republic, which is now known as Russia. It used to be, you know, the symbolic representative of atheism as communism. It was collapsed politically in 1991. Maybe half of you, even you don't remember that. In what's called the Prostroika. I think Gorbachev, which is about 30 years ago. Okay? For 70 years, we had two poles, Soviets and Americans, imperialism, communism. My point, many Arab countries, including Iraq, Syria, and some certain times Egypt, Lebanon, Palestine, for decades, they adapted in their political regimes Marxism and communism. Many of you are not aware of this. Palestinians, when they were defending themselves against the occupation, the majority of them, they were what? Communists. Do you know this? Do you know this, Habibi? You need to know that. How do you think victory will come? The majority, not all of them, when they were kicked out of their country, they were following Marxism and communism. You need to understand the history. Why Allah is not supporting a certain group against a group else? It is subhanallah. Yes. The Amalekites, at that time, they were given victory against the believers because simply they ignored Allah at that time, 3,000 years ago. You need to know the history. It's mind-blowing. Wallahi, mind-blowing. In my early childhood, at the very beginning of my practicing for Islam for about 40 plus years, I used to face a lot of people surrounding me who were making fun of me because of the influence of Marxism and communism. For them, I was an extremist and an idiot, stupid sheikh who's wasting his time in myth, wasting his time in faith, because they were influenced and they were proud to be what? Communists. Shiani communists, rejecting completely Allah. And they were born as Arab Muslims. So please don't think, but how come Allah? Yeah, Habibillah. Just yesterday we were living this. That's why I ask you, who's more than 80 or 60? Because I am, in my mid-50s, I witnessed this. I was an eyewitness in that. Type, give you another surprise. Arabs, they know that. When I was a young child, I'm talking about my year 7, which means, and now at the late 60s, I never ever saw a photo for the generation of my grandmother. My grandmother was born, I think, 1911 or 8 or 12. Okay? So in her, when she was young, it's mid-20s, 30s. I don't remember one photo in the whole generation of my grandmother who used to take photos in early 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm talking about Jordan, Palestine, Syria. Not even one female with hijab. One. Not even one. What? Yes. The majority of people in Bilad al-Sham, 99% they were not wearing hijab. So we passed by with something similar, by the way. Now we are living in a blessed time. You can't imagine 50 years ago how we used to be as Arabs and Muslims. Some people, they say, "Ooh, we are, no. Wallahi, I know one of my shuyukh, one of my people whom I took some ilm. He is now, I think, 70. He told me in early 60s, they used to call his sister as the fourth hijabi sister in Amman. They used to call her number 4. I'm talking about Islamic hijab. Many people, they used to have some kind of modest something, but just like a scarf, loose hair, this is uncovered, which is a traditional thing, not an Islamic full hijab with no perfume, with no makeup, with no earrings, all these. No. She was he told me, they used to say, for example, at that time, we have special, neighborhood and areas in Amman. They used to say, for example, like now saying, in Mississauga, the daughter of brother such and such is wearing a hijab. And there is another one in Oakville. And you might find the one in Brampton and 2 in Burlington. Wallahi. About 60 years ago, this was part of the culture. Just to give you an idea how far the majority of people, they were from Allah. Okay. Wallahi billahi tallahi. I personally had a personal meeting with an ex-dean of Sharia college. Ex-dean in one of Sharia college in one of the Arab countries. I don't want to reveal because it's something very private. But during my traveling, I had a personal meeting with ex-dean, full professor in fiqh. He said, he was an Azhari graduate. He said, from Palestine. He said, when I wanted to marry, I did not find in all of the village surrounded me in Palestine any sister with hijab at that time. An Azhari. Just to give you, because I want to relate, because these stories are not just for entertainment. Because if you took the core meaning of these stories, it's 99% is applicable now. But the group, the believers are a new group. That's it. But the stories, the context, the idea, the spirit is the same. So, when Jaloot or Guliath overcome Bani Israel, he took this chest away, which is the wooden books, with him. When Allah Almighty willed the return of the chest, it so happened that the infidels were struck. Look what Allah did. Infidels were struck, they were hit by some epidemic or calamity at places where they carried this chest. They took it, they managed physically to take it from the Israelites, i.e. the believers. It's a physical wooden box, contains blessings from Allah with the exact literal meaning. They took it. It's like, just to make it, like if non-believers attack Mecca and they took the black stone of the Kaaba. How do you think our feelings will be? Very upset. So imagine a group of communists, they attacked Mecca and they managed to take it and to make fun of us far away. Now, Ibn Kathir says those infidels, which is the people of Guliath, Jaloot, they took it, they were villagers, they have villages. Each village they reach while having this stolen, they had epidemic and all of them they were destroyed. Like COVID-19. Subhanallah. Allah has His own way. قال, it so happened that the infidels were struck by some epidemic or calamity at places where they carried this chest. 5 cities were turned desolate, complete. 5 cities completely destroyed, and the only indication they discovered they were destroyed after they brought this wooden box to it. So Allah was punishing them. Nonplussed, they loaded it on the bullocks and drove them off. So they decided just to throw this wooden box. They don't want it anymore. They brought, bulls on like a cart. They put it and they just, go away. We don't want it, because they discovered that they are, being struck and attacked all the time because of this wooden box. Then they left it. Then the angels took control of the bullocks and made it reach Talut's doorsteps. This is the meaning of آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت تحمله الملائكة. Subhanallah. It's very physical, very direct, tangible. Made it reach Talut's doorsteps. Talut is the Quranic name of, I'm still quoting Ibn Kathir, the Quranic name of the king known in the Bible as Saul. When the Bani Israel saw this sign, they believed in the kingdom of Talut. They believed. Now we accept. Okay, you are a good, nice prophet. We accept now. Wow. Wow. Look how Allah sent bounties and favored them. And what was their plight? Anyway, at the end, they believed in the kingdom of Talut, who then mounted an attack on Jaloot while the weather was very hot. Now, I finished quoting. Let's take very quickly in 5 minutes and I finish. From one angle, how great Allah is, Azim. How merciful Allah is. He keeps giving. He keeps supporting. He gives, by the way, responding, even though we are rude, yet He responds. Because when you say, وَقَالُوا نَبِيٍّ لَهُمْ, we don't want, no, they should have what? Full destruction. Finished. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has patience with His slaves, with His establishing the argument against them. طيب. Now, Allah honored them with the majority of people would love to see, which is the physical proofs. Do you want more than a proof? The angels come with what you ask in specific. Allah honored them. Now, when I was, subhanallah, then after that, the story of a new phase, the believers in Talut, what happened to them? They will have another test now. Okay? In Allah mubtalikum binahar. Then we have another test for the believers now. And there is a comparison between them and the Sahaba. But let me just highlight something. One of the greatest differences between all previous shara'a, laws before us, and our sharia, which ended up by the Quran and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that our biggest mu'jiza, miracle, was not a physical, tangible thing. It was the Quran. All preceded miracles, they were physical. All of them. No exception. Musa alayhi salam, his staff, split. Isa alayhi salam, وَإِبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَصَ وَأُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى وَأَنِّي أَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ. He used by the will of Allah to bring a piece of mud, clay, just like this, living bird. Physical. To bring dead into life. Physical, direct, witness, touched. Musa alayhi salam, Salih alayhi salam, the she camel. Okay? But wherever you go, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you want to be more academic, more specific, or what we might be calling mu'jizat, if you want to be more specific, they are just signs of prophethood. But the true mu'jiza as a terminology is the Quran. Because all of these miracles, they were for a specific people in specific time, geographical, historical location, and that's it, finished. It came for a specific reason. Limited group, khalas, finished. For us, we are honored to have the final mu'jiza, final miracle, which is the guidance and the constitution of humanity. That's why Allah is challenging everyone not through the signs of prophethood in time of Muhammad. For example, at the time of Muhammad sallallahu moon were split. Okay, we are not using, it's not a big deal to deal with others. Don't waste your time with non-believers about to prove it, or did that happen? Did اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. The Quran. Because Quran in itself contains the inner proof about it's from a divine being, and it's continuous up to the day of judgment. 6,348 verses, 114 chapters, 93 more or less thousand words. They contain 1,000 ayah. Verse deals with what we call now science. Tens and tens. And the big ayah, سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. We will show them our signs, our miracles in the horizons and in themselves, till it becomes very clear for them that it is the truth, حق. Tens and tens of verses, and many times, one of the examples, Richard Varley. أولم يرى السماوات أولم يرى الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يبصرون. Have the non-believers not witnessed that heavens and earth, they were one mass and we split them into pieces? Big Bang Theory. والسماء بنيناها بأيد وإنا لموسعون. And we have made the universe with our might, and we are still expanding it. The expansion of the universe is a scientific fact now. Many verses. يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. Allah says the one who disbelieves in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will made his chests narrow, and he will face difficulty in breathing like the one who is ascending gradually in the layers of the heaven. Oh my God. Who knew that ascending gradually will lead consequently to having less oxygen and more difficulty in breathing? Who knew that? Exactly. يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانه. Verily indeed, we are challenging you that we will reshape not him, but even his fingerprints. When we discovered that a fingerprint is a unique identity of every person on earth, according to them, how did Muhammad know that? Actually, it's not Muhammad who know that. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was just a receiver of the great revelation of the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I just quoted randomly 5 to 6 verses to you now. This is in the Quran. This is the real mu'jiza now. Tfaddal. That's for sometimes when I speak with someone who's asking me, hey, try to tell me about your religion. I say, look, to be honest with you, if you can't find a solution or a response for what I'm giving to you, you have no option but to accept it. If you can't refute it, you have to accept it. Or may God be with you in the day of judgment. I'm not joking with you. I'm not joking. I'm not here, oh, okay, we are nice. You can do whatever. No, Habibi. Why will you say, for example, when you live in a country, they tell you, look, the law is 1, 2, 3, 4. You must follow the law. It's not up to you. There is the law, we say the landlord. The law of the land. Don't we use these things? And you must follow the law of the land. Subhanallah. But who is the landlord of the earth? Once you are in America, you must follow American law, which is okay, reasonable, acceptable. Once you are in Canada, you follow the Canadian law. But once you are on earth, you follow the moon law or the March law or communist law. It's a common sense. Anyway, but this is like a quick, beautiful lessons from the beginning of the story of Talut and Jaloot. Next time, still we have, it's a long story. We have فَلَمَّا فَصَلَ طَالُوتُ بِالْجُنُودِ قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مُبْتَلِيكُمْ بِنَهَرٍ. Now we will see the cream of the believers, what kind of attitude they have towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this group of believers. It's mind-blowing. So this will happen inshallah next time if we stay alive. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم. See you. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.